For so long, the driving force of my life was the need to prove myself, from work and relationship to even casual interactions. I always felt the need to bend over backwards to please friends and family. I constantly felt the need to earn approval. It was a deeply ingrained pattern to please those around me, and the idea that my value was solely determined by my achievements and others' opinion on me. I think we begin life immersed in pure appreciation. As kids, we marvel at animals, flowers, and the wonders of nature without feeling the need to prove our worth. We simply exist, finding joy in the mere act of being. We don't need to prove the worth of a blooming flower or a beautiful butterfly. Their value is inherent and undeniable. Yet, somewhere along the line, this innate sense of value seems to fade. As we grow older, a subtle pressure emerges, a feeling that we must earn our place in the world. We strive to prove our worth through achievements, accomplishments, and external validations. It's almost like we feel the need to prove our value to others. I think that this need to prove ourselves manifests in many ways. We chase careers, accumulate possessions, and seek recognitions. We obsess over productivity, fearing that simply being present is insufficient, or having a lazy day or just lying in is not being productive. We internalize the message that our existence is only justified through constantly striving for something. We chase approval at work, in relationships, and across the digital landscape of social media. But I wonder what drives that relentless pursuit, and is it truly fulfilling? Personally, I think we force ourselves to fit society expectation, sacrificing our own desires and values for the fleeting approval of others. We will pursue careers we don't like or accumulate possessions we don't need, and portray an idealized version of ourselves online, all in the hopes of gaining acceptance and boost our fragile sense of self-worth. Just take a moment to consider the pervasive influences of social media and the influencer world and celebrity culture. We witness a constant parade of curated lifestyle and materialistic achievements, creating the illusion that happiness and success are defined by external markers. This ego stroking behavior of who has the biggest house and who wears the best and flashiest clothes, all this is to prove society that they made it. They have reached the so-called top. This feeds in the validation trap, leading us to believe that we must copy these celebrities and influencers to feel worthy, to be appreciated and accepted, which I don't think is true. But do you know what happens when you get caught up in this relentless pursuit of worth and pleasing others? I think we lose sight of our intrinsic value. We become disconnected from our innate joy and sense of wonder. I feel like we trade genuine connection for performance and approval of those around us. The truth is, I think our worth is not connected to our achievements. It exists independently regardless of our external success or failures. Just like a flower blooms without needing to justify its existence, I think we also possess an inherent value simply by being. I do understand the argument where many people believe the desire to prove themselves fuel their drive to work and create something of themselves and also achieve success. While I think it's true that external pressure can be temporary motivational, it often leads to an unsustainable behavior pattern like overworking, sacrificing passions for validation, and ultimately causing burnouts. I think the deeper root of the need to prove ourselves often lies in feelings of vulnerability and unacceptance or a sense of unworthiness. When we feel undermined or misunderstood, we may unconsciously seek external validation to compensate for these internal struggles. It masks a fear of being seen as inadequate or not good enough. We desperately seek external validation to protect ourselves from the discomfort of these vulnerabilities. However, I think that these outward focuses can prevent us from connecting with our intrinsic motivation and experiencing genuine fulfillment. Personally, I found that I was actually demotivated while doing something solely to prove my capability, or trying to prove that I can do something. When that was my only goal or my only reason for doing something, I found that I may not have done it as well, or I would have pressured myself to try and do it better, or just constantly penalizing myself. To tell the truth, some people will always tell you what you're doing wrong, no matter how hard you try. And when you do something worthy of being proud, they will make it seem as if it was a given, or as if everyone has done it, or something you were supposed to do anyways. They'll usually say things like, everyone does that, or that's nothing special. Or the one I hate the most, oh, that was easy anyway, anyone could have done it. What do people like that actually gain? What do they think they're doing when they say things like that? Whenever they say that, it completely disregards your effort, and it completely disregards all you've done, all the hard work you've put into. To be honest, with people like that, just don't allow these people to constantly drain your energy or joy. Don't give them the power, and remember to distance yourself from people like that who give you negative vibes or unhealthy energy. That's actually self care. Stepping back from situations where you feel unappreciated or disrespected is self care. Choosing to honor your feeling and boundaries and respecting yourself, that is way more worth and has so much more value than just constantly proving yourself or trying to please people who don't accept or can't appreciate you. You know, as I'm getting older, I'm realizing that I will inevitably come across other people who think they know what's best for me and try to advise me on the best way I should live my life. I've also realized that I'll always come across people who will think that they're better than me and that I should live my life a certain way. They'll also feel like they're more ahead or a much better human being, I don't know, than me, just due to their accomplishment or the education level or the materialistic things that they've accumulated throughout their life. Or even just the way they live. They'll think that, oh, because I'm living this way, I'm better than you. And just expecting you to prove that you're up to their level, which doesn't even make sense. And you know what's even funny? Like, some people will even try to measure your worth based on what you have instead of who you are. And they will determine how they should treat you based on that. Isn't that so ridiculous? Then we think that their happiness, success, and whatever the beauty standard is means the same to everyone, which is actually not true. I think if I could rewind time, I would offer my younger self a message of compassion and understanding. I would explain to her that the tireless effort poured into proving myself was misplaced. It was misdirected energy. I would gently remind and guide her towards a different path, one paved with more self acceptance and self love. You know, I'll say instead of seeking validation through external measures or pleasing people, we can reclaim our intrinsic worth by reconnecting with the simple joys of being present. We can appreciate the world around us with childlike wonder, rediscovering the beauty and value in simply existing, because that is such a great thing. I feel like by embracing our inherent worth and shedding the need to prove ourselves, we can step into life feeling more fulfilled and accepting ourselves and actually creating genuine connections. We can finally be free to exist, not just to prove ourselves, but to simply be. And wouldn't that just be a great thing? I think in this day and age, we forget that our very existence holds inherent value. Independent of accomplishments or external approval, we forget that we are worthy simply by who we are and by being a human being and by just being nice to people. I think we each possess inherent values and unique talents, regardless of our social standing, our career path, or the number of likes on our latest post of whatever social media tries to make us believe. I feel like it's time we break free from the validation trap and embrace our authentic self. We need to stop seeking out people's validation and just like pleasing others and breaking our back for others, basically just living for others' approval. I think what truly matters is having strength of character, an honest heart, and a sense of self worth. Also, never selling yourself short to make anyone feel good about themselves. Trust me. Like, as much as you want to prove yourself, the only person you should be proving yourself to is yourself. And one thing you should definitely not do is make yourself small for someone else, because I feel like that's even worse. I think that it's in self discovery that we can find true freedom, fulfillment, and a life lived authentically and on our own terms. So that was all I had today. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to the channel. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you have any thought on that, do you still feel that you have to constantly prove yourself to others? Are you on a journey to stop people pleasing? Because I feel like, especially being a girl, and not even that, in today's society, we're just constantly comparing ourselves all the time to people and just constantly trying to prove ourselves, constantly trying to prove that we're good enough and that we deserve to be where we are. When, to be honest, just by existing, just by being, just by breathing, that's good enough, and that is proof already that you are worthy. But that's all I have for today. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time. Take care.